Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Mouse Minds. We are here live for you, as always, on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all the usual suspects. And of course, I am joined by my amazing cast this week, our amazing co host. We have Luella, who's had an eventful last few weeks.
Hello.
And then we have Michael.
Good day. I've made a fascinating new discovery. I've reacquainted myself with something called sleeves. It's an interesting concept.
I had to do that too. I apologize to all the people who live in the northern part of the United States. It's 40 degrees in Florida this morning, and I am not doing okay. I don't know how to handle it.
It's even colder back up north. So
yeah, I know. That's why I apologize, because my 40 degrees would be a sunny day or a sunny beach day to them. But
and that's the other thing. This is like Florida 40 degrees, which is totally different than New York 40 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep, that is correct. Well, at least the water parks were closed today, so that's something. So
I'm sure
hopefully
we're complaining.
I'm sure they were. I'm sure they probably closed the pools at the resorts too.
You have to look it out for folks. Absolutely.
Yeah, those things are not heated, everybody. So stay out of those waters. So we are here live for you as always on Tuesday night at 8:30. I apologize for our little break there. It just we all had things come up, and we just took a small break, but we are back for you here live on YouTube. And we certainly appreciate you all joining us here and joining us this week. Now, this week, I wanted to go through and kind of get everyone's opinions and talk about entertainment at Disney. I think entertainment at Disney is one of those things that people either love it or hate it. There's no kind of like in between. There's no one that says, it's all right. No one says that. They either love the entertainment or they hate it. And there is so much entertainment at Disney. Obviously, there's a lot less than what we had in the past. Especially, things have changed and there's just not as much entertainment. But there are still lots and lots of entertaining things to see at the parks, between the parades, the fireworks, the shows, icons such as the Dapper Dans or the Voices of Liberty. So many things to see and do at the parks. Even places like over here on the East Coast, Hoop-de-Doo Review, which is an amazing dinner show. So I thought we have a great opportunity to kind of talk about our love, what makes Disney entertainment special to us, and what we love the most, what shows we love the most, past and present. So who wants to go first?
I'm very curious to hear what the West Coast is offering, because I know all about the East Coast.
I know, that's what I'm very curious about too, actually.
Well, I guess what's nice about entertainment, it adds another sense, right? You don't necessarily have to sit and watch it, but I love when you walk inside the park and you hear music. Whether it be live or it recorded, I think it just adds to the atmosphere. And sometimes you don't realize it until, for some reason, there's no music.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it just adds to the feeling, all those different forms of entertainment. And what's great about it is you don't necessarily have to be a lover of it, but it just provides something for everyone. For someone who's not able to do the rides, that's just not their thing. They can sit and watch a show and be thoroughly entertained. That's why, as expensive as the parks are, I really do believe you can get a big bang for your buck of full entertainment, whether it be a ride, an attraction, music. And so I think the West Coast has very similar entertainment that's in the East. I've been to both parks, but I think going back, if I want to choose a favorite, I love Paint the Night. It's a parade that came during a couple years ago, and it's coming back next year for Disneyland's birthday. And I think it is an update to the electrical parade. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like the electrical parade, but there's just something about the night that I just love more. So that's really one of my favorites.
I can totally relate to you on Paint the Night because I will always remember the first time I saw Paint the Night and I heard that music. And it's everything when it comes to light parades always has some homage to the Main Street Electrical Parade, which they of course do at kind of the beginning of the main beginning of Paint the Night with the music there, the way it starts off. But yes, Paint the Night is an incredible parade. I had, it was one of those things that I actually went back twice in 1 year to Disneyland or to California to see Paint the Night because it is that good of a show. It is probably up until now the best nighttime parade that there ever was. We of course over here on the East Coast we've had a lot of different nighttime parades from the Electrical Parade to Spectro Magic. So it's a big deal. It's always been a big deal over here. I'm kind of shocked that we've gone so long without a nighttime parade over here. Thankfully, we're getting one back. Which
you're getting one. I think it's going to be awesome. What are your just thoughts in general about nighttime parades?
I think they are. I think at least at Magic Kingdom here, I think they are a bit of a requirement. I think people kind of expect a nighttime parade over here. We expect a Main Street Electrical Parade or a Spectro Magic or something like that. I think people, fireworks are great, but it's only half the picture. I think people come here expecting a nighttime parade of some sort.
But see, not for the past 4 or 5 years, though. That's since
true.
COVID. So if you're new, you don't even know there is a parade. You got the one in the afternoon. To me, there's so much going on in the evening. All the money they invested in the projection mapping and everything else that's true. I'm surprised they're even bringing one back at this point. Just for the cost savings alone, it takes hundreds of people to run a parade. And it's not like people, now they've got a parade, so let's bring the family down to Walt Disney World. That was the breaking point. Am I going to fly from Idaho to go to Disney because now there's a parade? I don't know if that's the tipping point. It'll be nice to see. It'll be nice to have it back. But the park was already packed. And I don't know if this is what's going to draw extra people in.
I mean, I certainly think it makes the fans happy.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we've been begging for this for a long time, ever since the Electrical Parade went away last time. The last time we had it, we didn't have it till last time. We had it till what? We had it till 2016. So, I mean, and of course, we love the nighttime parades at the parties. The Boo to You parade, the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas parade. Those are those are mostly parades at nighttime. They're not really like an electrical Main Street parade or something like that. They don't have a lot of, as they say, dazzling lights. But there's still parades at night. And those parades definitely do draw people to go to these events. I mean, they do keep people going. People go every year just to see the Boo to You parade, which I don't even remember the last time that's changed at all. It's just the same stuff over and over again, and that's what people like. So
did they change the music for the Christmas one? I thought this year.
I haven't looked at it, but maybe
that last one didn't make any sense. Once upon a Christmas time at Christmas. What does that even mean?
I think what's nice too about a nighttime parade is that it's just anything that can kind of divvy up the crowd is nice, right? You're going to have select people that are going to sit and wait and sit there and watch the parade, and it kind of frees up the park a bit. So
I agree with that.
A nice something in the evening to kind of divvy up all the people.
And they usually do it in a way where you have the parade and then the fireworks right after. Yeah. So it gives you, having that parade gives you more time in the park without people, on the rides.
Yep.
So you have, which is a huge deal, especially for Magic Kingdom. So it'll be very nice to have something that catches the crowd. And two, I feel like with the parades, especially or any parades really, you can kind of just, if you want to see it, you can kind of go to wherever you want to go, Frontierland, Main Street, wherever, and just kind of catch it. You don't have to be, standing in a certain spot. You can see it all over the park. So you don't have to deal with the crowds of Main Street. You can go in Frontierland and watch it there. So it gives you a lot more room to really enjoy it. More so than, where you're crowded all set together on Main Street watching the castle light up for, the nighttime show. So I personally prefer, I mean, well, Disney would not be Disney without fireworks. Let's just be honest about that. I mean, especially Walt Disney World. But I do feel like, honestly, I think I like the parade more than I do the fireworks themselves.
I agree. I'm a parade girl. I love to watch the parade.
Yeah, and you're right. Paint the Night is iconic. How many countless times have they brought back the Main Street Electrical Parade? I mean, that thing's been on a farewell tour more times than I can't even think of some of the 80s bands. It's been a farewell tour more times than some of these 80 bands. I think it's been on more farewell tours than Kiss. But it's rightfully so. It's I mean, just hearing the music alone, gives people goosebumps. So that is the same with Paint the Night. That is an excellent choice. I love Paint the Night. Everything about that. I mean, I love that. Oh man, when the Cars comes through.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. See, I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about it. But over here, we never had the privilege. I mean, there was always the rumors that we were going to that was going to come over here. That was going to be a thing that we were going to have on this coast. But it never came true.
Well, I heard, you've seen Paint the Night, and you've seen I think his name is Big Red, that big truck.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I heard that it's just too heavy.
Oh, that makes sense.
The doors and everything, like it just couldn't support that weight. Could be wrong. I heard that it just couldn't accommodate some of those floats, and you need all the floats.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense, because that is a big float, and then on top of that,
it's like a big rig,
Yeah.
So.
Well, not only that, it's having all those lights and moving all that around with those lights on there. That's a lot to maintain, because that show, like, if there's one light out, someone will notice. Like, they'll notice if one light is out. I remember
I just like it better
the electrical parade. I mean,
yeah, I like it when each park has their own thing. I think it's nice that
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I Paint the Night, go there, but honestly, I would prefer Paint the Night, stay where it's at, and then you get your new one, which is what's going to happen, and would give you a reason to go. So I like that better. And it's going to be made, like the floats will be made specifically for Magic Kingdom. Versus they have to adjust for Magic Kingdom.
That is definitely true. And the other thing is too, a lot of people want parades from the past to come back, like Spectrum Magic and things like that. That's always been a thing people have clamored for so long, and I think I understand a lot of Disney fans have a lot of fond memories of older things, but it's had its time. These things are not coming back, unfortunately. I mean, I would love to have the original Imagination ride back at Epcot, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
but it had its time, and what we have now is great, and what we're getting is going to be amazing from the photos and everything that we've seen so far. Looks amazing, and Disney does a really good job with parades. I think parades are one of the things that they do really well. I mean, Festival of Fantasy, to this
Mhm.
day, that parade still blows my mind. I mean, the dragon, it spits fire, and that's awesome.
Well, that's why I think
So
it's so much better if they make a parade or a show that's specific to the park
true.
rather than adjusting to the park. Because I'll have to say, I also love Phantasmic, but
Mhm.
Phantasmic in the East Coast is just it's just a shell of really what it is. Everyone who watches
Yeah,
that Phantasmic, I'm like, my God, you guys got the short end of the stick. This is not terrible.
I will agree with that. I will
Sorry,
agree with
but
that.
it's not.
Our
It's just
dragon works, so that's the one thing we got going.
Oh,
Our
our
dragon is
dragon
not
was
caught fire.
awesome. It was
Well,
awesome,
it was fantastic. They just
but I mean, to
forgot
watch
to make it.
Phantasmic and the Rivers of America versus a
hmm
stage, is,
Yeah,
I
oh,
think
that's
that
it.
it's just not what it was meant to be. Like Phantasmic wasn't meant to be on a stage. So,
And soon enough, we'll be saying, "Remember when Walt Disney World had Rivers of America?"
oh,
So
that's
soon.
right. You guys are.
Too soon. Too soon. Too
won't be much
soon.
left.
Too soon.
Oh yeah.
Filled in the moat. There's only a couple little patches left.
I'm curious to see how it would turn out.
But yeah, I can't see. I mean, for the amount of years they haven't had a night parade, and the amount of time that they've had to plan this, and
Mhm.
they've kept their mouth shut this whole
Mhm.
time. Out of
That is very
nowhere,
hard.
and by the way, here's a
That is
parade for you.
very hard.
I can't
Yeah,
see this being terrible.
that's true. That's true. That is very true.
Don't screw it up, Disney.
And I have to say, as much as I enjoy the way that we are more connected as a Disney community, I really love it when the surprise is not spoiled. I can appreciate some of the rumors, but I really think it takes the fun out of Disney with all these rumor sites and posting this and posting that, because everyone's what and the information that they may be getting is true at the time, but plans always change, and I really like that we were surprised with this one. That is just, it's very rare that we're surprised with something, and it shows in the crowd. I mean, they were freaking out for this because they were taken back too. So it's really awesome. Now, speaking
Especially,
of nighttime shows, going back to nighttime parades, nighttime shows, do you have a favorite, Luella? Do you have a favorite nighttime show, favorite fireworks show?
I uh it depends on the version, but I think World of Color is fantastic
Okay.
at Disney California Adventure. Um but they change that up, and there's sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't. so when it first came out, I really loved it, and they did some tweaks on it, but they're trying to keep it fresh. And
Of
then
course.
I think with fireworks, I have yet to it's always exciting because we have a lot of characters that fly in the sky.
hmm
And so I think I just get excited, like if I see Nemo or Baymax, whenever the fireworks that happens, like
uh-huh.
Tinkerbell is always good, but when they do an adjustment and you see like Dumbo or Baymax or Nemo, those are a lot of fun. So
hmm
uh, any type of fireworks. I've never been super big on fireworks, maybe because I can't stay up that late, but if I'm doing a full day, but I still like, and you have to get your good seat, but
Yeah.
regardless, I think Disney knows how to put on a good show, and I do enjoy the projections. I think the last fireworks I really loved was this I think it was 65th anniversary. That one,
hmm
they have these really big anniversaries. They're really nice. So
Oh yeah, they always do amazing fireworks for anniversaries, whether it's at Disneyland or at, let's say, somewhere like Epcot. And that really, I don't think that was a thing before they did the I know they might have had smaller celebrations, but it really became a thing when they had the 25th birthday for Epcot, and all the fans kind of riled up and were doing their own thing because Disney was doing nothing to celebrate. And then they were like, "Oh my gosh, we have to do something," and they threw something together, which was absolutely incredible. Which I'm shocked they did in the amount of time that I'm sure they had to put this together. And they do a fantastic job. And I mean, it's so hard to choose a favorite nighttime show at Walt Disney World because we've had so many amazing shows. I mean, between Illuminations, which was just incredible, Wishes, Happily Ever After. There's just been so many iconic the fireworks shows, um, for New Year's Eve at Magic Kingdom with the 360 fireworks. And I mean, what Disney can do with fireworks is unlike anything else. It's absolutely just mesmerizing.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
over there at Magic Kingdom, it's amazing. With here, you know that, and Disneyland is surrounded by a city, so
yeah, so it's very hard to.
it's surrounded by a city, and then a lot of times it's canceled because of the wind.
Mm,
We're not that far off from the ocean, and so they, if you didn't know, they release a balloon like a couple minutes before, and if that balloon sways too much, there's no fireworks. So, because then the debris
I did not know that.
Yeah, the debris will be flying into
I did
the house.
not know that.
Yeah. So sometimes if you come here and there's no fireworks, it was too windy. You might not be windy down at your parks, but it's too windy up in the sky, which will blow the debris to the houses. So
that I did not know that, but come to think of it, I think I have actually seen that balloon before. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's interesting. Wow. Well, I have to say, one of my favorites, and this still happens every year. I think one of the coolest fireworks that really utilizes the park space every year is New Year's Eve at Epcot. And if you've never experienced New Year's Eve at Epcot, it is really awesome because you get when the clock gets to about 11:30, 11:45, somewhere in there, they light the fireworks for the regular fireworks show. They typically do that fireworks show twice, so people that don't want to stay till midnight can see it earlier, and then they do it again later. But what's amazing about it is they not only bring out the what has been called what the Disney fans call the World War III barge, which is, I think that's actually the technical term for it inside Disney too, which is loaded with fireworks. They will start shooting off fireworks behind each country in order of when they celebrated New Year's.
Oh,
So they start off in where do they start? Where does it start off in? Japan, I believe, is where it starts, and then it just kind of goes from there. And then by the time they get, and I don't know how this is like a science because every year they hit it right at the right time, and then as soon as they get to America and they say it's your time, then fireworks. There's a countdown, and I don't remember how they do it last year, but when they had the the big spear in the lagoon there, they they would do the countdown on there, and then of course the fireworks would shoot off and everything. And if you've never experienced that in person, I'm telling you right now, either wear earplugs or something, because every time they light up that, anything to do with that, when they bring, it's literally, you'll see it in the lagoon. It's a barge with nothing on it but a metal fence around it, and it's all just fireworks. It's all it is. And when they light that thing off, it takes your breath away. It is so many fireworks, like you cannot even breathe. Like you feel it in your chest. That's how loud it gets. It's absolutely incredible. And and the crazy thing about that experience is, I will never forget the first time I went to Epcot on New Year's Eve. I didn't know what to expect. I walked into the park, and as I was going into the entrance, I heard just pop music playing over the speakers. And I was like, this is strange. This is not Epcot, and I said, "What's going on?" to the cast member, and he's like, "Oh, it's New Year's Eve. We thought we'd do something different." He was making a joke, and I walked to the back, and of course, if you've never been to Epcot on New Year's Eve, they have dance parties in a lot of the countries. They put stages inside like China and America and Italy and UK, and they have different dance parties in each country, Japan, and they had, it's just so amazing. But the thing that's crazy was when it came time to see the fireworks, I was actually standing in France, and it's like everyone that was there from another country went to their respective country to watch the fireworks. So as I was standing in France and the fireworks were going off for Italy, the people in France were booing Italy and vice versa. So the Italians were booing the French people. It was just it was an experience. It was one of those things. It's like, but then after the fireworks are over, of course, we all came together. We're having a massive party, and it's utter pandemonium. There's people everywhere. It's just a crazy mess, like a sea of people. But somehow, through a mix of, I hate to say it, but alcohol and sleep deprivation, we're all having a good time.
It's Epcot after all. So, yeah.
Which this does not happen at, and which at Magic Kingdom it's a totally different situation, because I've seen people going there in like PJs and everything else, and they're like rocking in the New Year's and PJs, and I did that one year, and it's just, I mean, of course, getting out of Magic Kingdom on New Year's Eve is insane. You know, the amount of people there, because they fill the park to capacity at noon that day usually. But yeah, but it's a totally different thing. But I'm telling you, Epcot, if you ever get the chance to go on New Year's Eve, take it and stay till midnight. And that park actually usually stays open till 1. So that way they give time to clear out and they have the dance parties. But the fireworks on that night are absolutely incredible. And I'm excited. I'm going again this year. I haven't been in a while, and I'm going again this year. And I'm excited to see what they do with the new barges that they have and all that great stuff. So it is a fantastic show. That, and then also, if you ever get the chance for 4th of July at Epcot, they have an amazing fireworks show called the Heartbeat of Freedom, which basically takes a lot of older kind of American kind of songs that are, I don't know how to describe it. They're American songs, but they're, you know, like songs from, you know, when, you know, way back, and they, you know, they have fireworks that go on behind. There's one point where fireworks launch from behind the American Pavilion, and it's just, watch it on YouTube, look it up, Heartbeat of Freedom. Come to the park, see it in person. It's absolutely incredible. It's such a great show. You have to see it in person. Now, have you ever done any special holidays like that at Disneyland and seen the fireworks there? Did they do anything crazy, or?
You know, I'm sure they do. I just don't spend
Of course.
New Year's or Christmas.
Of course.
What's nice here at in Disneyland is and I actually think it's nice. We don't have a separate Christmas party. So because of that, everyone gets to enjoy the Christmas fireworks. You don't have to pay extra for a private party. You don't have to pay extra for a private Christmas parade. So, you know, it's included with your ticket. But, you know, here we are speaking about entertainment. Would you consider characters entertainment?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Characters are 100% entertainment. More so at Disneyland. Well, let me rephrase that. Yes and no. Characters are entertainment at Disneyland. They are not so much entertainment at Walt Disney World. They are more attractions at Walt Disney World.
Okay.
Because they have waits and wait times, and it's a production. Where at Disneyland, they just roam the streets. You know, I mean, and they just kind of act goofy and be themselves, and it's a far different experience, and it's a million times better than anything we get at Walt Disney World. But it's I would say it's a different experience. I would say they're more attractions over here than entertainment. But man, if you
Okay.
see the Disney Cruise or Disneyland or California Adventure or really any of the other parks, I think Walt Disney World is, well, Disneyland Paris too a little bit, because I know they do meet and greets there, but anywhere where they have the meet and greets, it's more of an attraction because you got to wait in line and
Okay.
they push you through. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You can't stand there and watch it necessarily.
Yeah.
Because you're just waiting your turn to get the autograph and the picture, and you move on with your life. But I mean, when they do the stage shows, or when they have little interactions or little mini shows, even at night, on the way out, you've got the characters waving to you from the top of the train station, from the front of Hollywood Studios. So they'll come out midday, not necessarily for meet and greet, but just interact and make the little heart sign with the kids and wave and say hi. And then the kids feel special because Mickey pointed at me, or Daisy's up there saying hello. So, that kind of thing.
Because that's something I love characters.
Me too.
Get very entertained by them. And it's nice when they roam and have fun and just kind of be their character,
People don't realize that, I always harp back to the first time I went to Disneyland and I got to the park early because I was so excited. I mean, I spent the whole day there, and from open to close. And I remember just getting on the carousel, and Belle just happened to get on the carousel with us, and she rode with us. And I was like, what is going on? What is happening here? My eyes got all wide. It was like I was seeing Disney for the first time. I was like, this doesn't happen at Disney World. Oh my God.
That's fun. Or when Mary Poppins goes on, and I actually like it when the band, that Mary Poppins band, I forgot what they're called. But they're dressed in different colors when they go on carousel. That's fun. So, which also ties into live entertainment. I enjoy that.
I think the fact that, and I'm sure I've said this before in here, but the fact that with Disneyland being more for locals, they don't necessarily swarm the characters like they do here in Orlando. I mean, a character comes out on Main Street or something, and people, are fighting. A line starts to form, and people are fighting to get in line to see a character. It's like it just turns into a whole thing, and they have to have two handlers to help.
Yeah,
that doesn't
that's
happen.
understandable, because when you have mostly, for example, I just went to the park, and Geppetto was walking. I'm not running to Geppetto. I'm like, hi, Geppetto, and I'm going to Small World, and it's just kind of like that. So you almost kind of feel bad, nobody's going to Clarabelle. I told them, Clarabelle's just walking.
I love Clarabelle.
Nobody's going to her.
But see, that's some of the fun things in Epcot when they have the
in the back
characters in training, and they put them in the back, and you don't know who you're going to spot back there, but it's not going to be Mickey and Minnie, but you'll get those random characters. Like, okay, now that's cool. It's not somebody I normally see. So
exactly, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. That I always love those impromptu, and I also love too when the characters appear at the resorts on holidays. When it's like an Easter or something like that, and you have character. I mean, I have friends who will literally spend Easter going resort hopping, just seeing all the different characters that are out and about. So that is a really nice treat. Because when they do stuff like that and they're at the resorts, they tend to be more like the Disneyland interactions. They tend to be more free to kind of be themselves and actually. But I will say, when it comes to characters, I think the best interactions are the best time that I have with the characters was on Disney Cruise Line. I kind of felt like I had them to myself. Because you would go down into the main atrium or lobby there, and there was always characters down there. And a lot of times there just wasn't a line. And they were just running around chasing kids in the hallways and, signing autographs and just, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And it was that was one of the main things that I liked most about Disney Cruise Line was I felt like when we had those sea days, we really got to, spend that extra time with the characters, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun. So kudos to Cruise Line for that. You guys are doing awesome with the characters. I have to say, when I took my last cruise and we went to Mexico and I saw Pluto before I stepped into Mexico, that was a very interesting experience. I'm like, I'm in Mexico, but Pluto's here. Okay. But moving on from that, so let's talk about entertainment inside the parks. Let's talk about, do we have any favorite shows? What are our favorite shows? Luell, what are your favorites over there at Disneyland?
Gosh, I have to think about that. So why don't you go?
Okay. So I will say, go ahead.
Right now, the fun thing right now is Deadpool and Wolverine. That's fun show.
Okay. I like that.
See, for something like that, we've got to go to Universal, unfortunately, for all those cool, funny shows. And, from the clips I've seen online, they're doing a great job. But I think they're getting rid of the live Spider-Man, right? So I guess they'll phase that out.
And that is so sad because that is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep the animatronic, but they're going to get rid of the guy in the suit.
Oh, I thought they were getting rid of the animatronic.
They're doing away with the whole thing?
That's what I heard, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Either way. But that the Wolverine and Deadpool, I don't know how long you can keep that going until the movie goes away and it fades back in, but
yeah, they'll change it up, keep it fresh.
Sure.
I think that deals with just talking characters. They're so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get enough of those face characters. So when you have somebody you can interact with besides hand gestures and whatever, makes it a bit more enjoyable.
Yep. And, I have to say, when it comes to live entertainment, I think, honestly, out of all the parks that I've been to, I've been to Paris, I've been to Disneyland, Disney California Adventure. I would say my favorite for entertainment has to be Epcot. World Showcase has some of the best entertainment that has just been there forever. I mean, Voices of Liberty are iconic. I mean, hearing them on the 4th of July do that special ceremony, singing the national anthem and having the characters come on stage with them and, watching the characters and then sing the national anthem and salute the flag. It's so awesome to see that. Seeing them every day in the rotunda with their voices, hearing that, their amazing voices and the acoustics of that pavilion. Amazing. Mariachi Cobre, been there again since Epcot opened. Amazing mariachi band. Some of those guys have been there since the opening of the park. Like, that is awesome. These are like truly like iconic entertainment that has been there forever. And it's a little sad for me because I feel like since COVID, we lost a lot of the entertainment at Epcot. I mean, we had the World Showcase players, we had Sergio in Italy. There's a lot of entertainment. I can't remember the guy's name in France that did the whole thing with the chairs. I don't think he's there anymore. There was a lot of different entertainment that we lost at Epcot, but we still have a lot of great entertainment there. And they keep, adding on to that. They just added the Encanto show, which I think is fantastic, at Epcot there by Communicore Hall. We have the amazing music back in the UK pavilion. We have the drums in Japan. I mean, you really can make. They used to put out these videos back in like the 90s talking about, it'd take you a whole day to see all the entertainment at Epcot. And I really do believe that is true. Like you could spend a whole day, you know, or maybe 3/4 of a day watching the entertainment at Epcot. There's so much entertainment going around everywhere. Would you agree with that, Michael?
And see, that's the thing. It was all awesome stuff, but adding back the chair balance guy isn't going to draw anyone to Epcot. It was something nice to be able to stop and look, but it's not going to add people. It'll draw a crowd. It might keep them off a ride for a little bit. It's like those the silly acrobats they have in front of Epcot now by the new garden area that's tucked off to the side, and that little spinning thing. You know, if that goes away, attendance is not going to drop. But yeah, I wonder half the time if it's more of a cost-cutting thing where, yeah, you have to get rid of it. You know, everyone's, oh my God, they're going to get rid of Yeehaw Bob. They're never bringing them back. These were things you had to do. We just didn't understand when COVID was here.
Yeah.
Then we're looking back going, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I guess you kind of had to let people go. But I think when it comes down to line item, like we're paying somebody to do what? Okay, we can probably eliminate that. I'm not surprised they never brought back the Citizens of Hollywood. But there are certain things I think you can just say, yeah, we can do without the juggler.
That's very true. I didn't even think about the Citizens of Hollywood. Yeah. I mean, there's so many great entertainment things that we've lost throughout the years. I mean, you look at something like Pleasure Island, for example, had tons of entertainment that is still remembered to this day, like the Adventurers Club or the Comedy Warehouse. I mean, they were still doing Comedy Warehouse shows up until, you know, right before COVID for the holiday season. So amazing entertainment there. You know, all across the parks, there's so many things that I can think of. I mean, I could sit here for hours and talk about all the things that we used to have that were amazing. But it's really, you know, Disney is really good at entertainment. In the parks, they're really good at it. And it's amazing to see, like, some of these people that are in this entertainment go on to have very successful, you know, music careers and things like that too, which is pretty amazing. It just shows you how much, you know, they put into that. And I think that's one of the things that separates Disney from all the other parks is that their desire or their quest for quality when it comes to entertainment. They don't just throw something out there and say, here you go, here's some guys acting silly walking down the street. They don't do that. You know, they really put thought into what they do. They create a nice backstory. They make it fit into the area that it's in. They try really hard. And I think that's what separates them from pretty much any other theme park. I mean, there, of course, is a lot of things, but even compared to something like Universal, I think the entertainment is far superior at Disney than Universal. Just my opinion. But Michael, do you have any? Did we ask you if you had any favorite shows? I know you said. Full disclosure, Michael before the show told us he does not watch shows, parades, fireworks, anything. He absolutely watches nothing. So do you have anything that you like?
There was one that I watched and we got rid of it. It took a little while to catch it. And I guess it's because I have never seen one before. It was my first experience, but the drone show they had at Disney Springs, liked that a lot. That was cool to see. The characters, they pulled out some random characters. They threw in some park-specific stuff. That was pretty decent. I parked at the wrong end of Disney Springs, and we had to hoof it from literally one end. I'm like, you want to move the car? No, let's not move the car. And it was cold, and she's walking, and we're walking. But we did it. You know, it would have made sense. We caught it one time from the back, and it was like maybe 2/3 over. But at least I caught a little bit of it from Disney Saratoga Springs.
Yep.
But you lose the music. And then if I was going to go up in the parking garage, you lose the music. So let's just go into the crowd. And it was pretty cool. So that one I enjoyed.
Yeah, that was what our second drone show, because we had one of the first drone shows ever was at Disney Springs. This was years before they had it that had the show they had this year, or was it this year? No, it was last. And when was that show? I don't remember. Yeah, it was this year. So, but before they had that one, they had another show, and I can't remember the name of it. But that was like a test of the drones to see. I think it was Intel sponsored it, and that was like a test for the drones, and then it became a thing that just blew up everywhere, and now everybody has drone shows, which makes sense. I mean, they don't. You get the same sort of aerial effects that you would with fireworks without having the loud noise of fireworks and the smoke and all the other hazards that you have with fireworks. I really, if I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the Main Street Electrical Sky Parade at Disneyland Paris, that looked incredible. Or that looks incredible. Seeing the different floats from the parade just cruising along in the sky, and they even had found a way. If you look at one of the scenes where they have fireworks like attached to the drones shooting out as it goes across the sky, which that to me was like pretty amazing. I mean, how you attach a firework to a drone and have it fly in the air like that and not crash is magic to me. But the drones, I think, are going to be the big thing in the future. I don't think we'll see them replace fireworks, but it'll be a big part of that. I mean, Universal is doing a great job with drones now too, combining with their sensational, combining drones and fireworks in a water show. It's like World of Color meets a Main Street Electrical Sky Parade meets a fireworks show. So,
I mean, when they just did the christening, I think it was the Treasure, right? That was in New York.
Yes, and it did a drone show there too.
Drone show there. That maybe in that area they wouldn't be able to do a fireworks show. So, it allows them to really put on a good show if you're in places that are restricting. Things are restricted.
I'm over the water. You can do whatever the heck you want, and you've got a lot more room than this little area of the park, or we have to do it here because of the town, the city. The dolphins aren't going to get mad, so do whatever you like.
I love a drone show. My son's graduation had a drone show.
Oh, that's crazy!
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big manufacturer who does, not manufacturer, but big company that does a lot of those drone shows, and they just built an office in Orlando. So I'm expecting a lot more from drones at all the parks. I'm honestly surprised that we don't have drones at the SeaWorld parks, because honestly, when you have a park that has animals, it makes a lot more sense to do a drone show and not scare the animals with the fireworks than it does to have fireworks. So I'm sure they have something in the works for that we haven't heard about, but that would be a major improvement for them so they can have different nighttime offerings. But yeah, the drone shows are just over the top incredible.
Missed opportunity there.
Yep. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here, and I don't know, I guess we do have this on the West Coast too, but kind of these, I'll say, adaptations of Broadway shows that we have in the parks. Over here, The Lion King. We also have Finding Nemo over here. The shows like that they kind of scale down, shorten up, make it something that's more digestible for a day at a theme park. And I think Disney, I'm not a big Broadway fan. I was actually talking to someone about this today. Musicals and me, like, I've tried. It's not really my cup of tea. But I respect. I mean, I'll watch them. I respect them for what they are. They are amazing. Some of these musicals that are out there are just, have incredible talent. But it's really just not my thing. But I think Disney does an amazing job with these types of shows. And I'm trying to think of, I could have sworn there was one at California Adventure, but I can't remember. Luella, you can tell me more than.
Yeah, because they have the Hyperion Theater.
Yes.
And before, when DCA opened up, the Hyperion Theater was actually meant to be a real top of the line theater. They were thinking of having it where you have some Broadway shows, and then of course things changed. It became a part of the park, but we used to have an amazing Aladdin show. It's fantastic.
That's what it was. That's the one that I saw. Yes.
That went on a couple years. Then they changed it to Frozen, which was just as good. I mean, it was very good. The latest thing that happened there was a Marvel.
Okay.
That was really good, but it was a limited time run because it was supposed to be a part of one of the shows, like
Mm-hmm.
Marvel musical, and that was really good. But right now it's empty, so we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I did see that Aladdin show because I remember that was the one thing that people were talking about all the time with California Adventure was that Marvel show. That was the big thing everyone was telling me I had to see, and I remember that. So it was nice to actually see that. And you're right, it was what I remember of that show because this was a few years ago. That was an incredible show, incredible. And I think Disney has done a great job, at least at Animal Kingdom, with the shows that they have there. The Lion King, how they do that day in and day out, that amazing production with the singing and everything else, and doing X amount of shows a day. That's a lot of work, a lot of costume changes, a lot of this and that. I mean, that's a big production, and Disney just puts that out like a well-oiled machine, which is amazing.
I mean, if you remember something as basic, and this was a long, long time ago, but during Mickey's 60th birthday, when they were doing the birthday celebration, they had that stage show. Mm-hmm. That thing ran all day. Yeah. I mean, all day. It was just a 10, 15-minute show, and it was just on a cycle. Yeah. And they were doing dozens of performances a day. I don't know if it was just to get everyone through, but I mean, to try the manpower for that too, and to not get burnt out. Because everyone in that audience was watching it for the first time, and I don't care if this is your 35th performance today. You better be on. Yeah.
That was you're spot on there. Whether it's your 35th performance today, that was that they had to be spot on. I mean, you're right. A lot of those things they just kept doing over and over and over again. Even the castle shows in front of the castle, over and over. It's crazy how they can spit that out like that.
Yep. They're the pros. So nice.
Yep. And to have not only just to do those shows, to produce those shows that much, but to have all that amazing talent and train all that amazing talent and do those rehearsals and everything else. I mean, I have friends who are in some of those shows, and I see through Facebook what they have to do to prepare for these things. I mean, even look at what Disney does for Candlelight. Candlelight Processional has become this amazing thing every Christmas. I mean, they just go crazy with it, and cast members are clamoring to be a part of the show and all the rehearsals and everything that goes into that show. It's incredible.
Well, Candlelight here is pretty funny. It's the whole thing is who's the celebrity. You only do it, twice, and it's only for special guests, but you can watch it from a distance, and they don't reveal the celebrity until that night.
Oh, really? Yes.
Oh, really?
They publish that months because people, as crazy it is, people will book their vacation around a particular narrator.
Well, you can't
here.
Yeah, here it's not like that.
Right.
Do you think that because I was thinking about this yesterday when I was watching, because I did see the Candlelight this past weekend. Nico Santos, the guy who played Mateo on Superstore. That's what I remember him most for. I know he's in a lot of other things. Please don't get mad at me because I know he's in Marvel and other things too. But I always remember him as he's Mateo to me. That was one of my favorite shows. But he was amazing. But I was thinking about that while I was watching it. Like what, the amount of talent that I think they could pull because they're in Los Angeles. I was wondering and I tried to look up a list and there was no list. And I was like,
There's no list.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same thing. It's a special event here. So the rumor is, who is the biggest star right now, like in the Disney zeitgeist? And we're kind of guessing it might be the person who plays Agatha. We're just
okay.
yeah. But we won't know until day of, and then you'll see everyone start posting, it's this person. It's considered a surprise at the wraps. And then, like I said, it's only for special guests.
How many? What is the schedule like for candlelight at Disney? It's at Disneyland, right? When they do it like it's not like Epcot where they do it like every day, right?
No, it's just the Saturday, the first Saturday and the first Sunday. There's 2 shows. That's it.
Wow.
That's it. Yeah.
So it's just the one set of shows then.
Yeah, I think it's the first. I think it's like, and it's only invited guests.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
But
you can go and watch it from the outside, because it takes place on Main Street and the train station. Mm-hmm. Anyone can watch it, but the seated and everything is invited guests only.
Wow.
I've never been invited.
That's such a contrast.
I've never been invited.
That's such a contrast from over here, because they've found a way to make our candlelight a money-making machine with all the reserved seating and having to eat at. I mean, I'm sure the restaurants love it, because restaurants that are usually empty, like Nine Dragons in China, now have crowds of people doing the dining packages for the holidays because they want to see their favorite celebrity at candlelight. So I'm kind of shocked that they don't do that over there.
Well, I mean, it's harder.
Be a big money maker for them.
Outside. Yours is in the theater, so it's more controlled temperature. We still may have rain. We still may have, so we don't have.
Not necessarily true, because that the theater that it's in is only halfway covered. Half of the seating for that theater is outside. So if it does rain, I mean, that's a different situation. And of course, there's no AC even in the covered parts. But I mean, actually, probably less than half of the theater. How much would you say of that theater is actually covered, Michael? It's probably like maybe a quarter of it.
Yeah, it's the front. Seating. I mean, they've canceled acts if the rain's coming in sideways.
Oh, wow.
So you're good for a bit. I mean, I've stood there with a poncho or an umbrella. We put the ponchos down. It sounds like somebody's on a tap dance studio. We've been on I've sat there with the poncho down on my seat just to block it off. But when it's wet, it's wet. And it's got to be pretty heavy for them to cancel. But if it was fully contained, that'd be awesome. But it's something about being able to see Spaceship Earth off to the distance, or the other pavilions.
Okay. Yeah. No. This is a special event. Invited guests, usually people from the city, Club 33. Special.
Of course.
Those folks.
Those folks.
Special children and their families, because it only happens twice. So, but you can watch it. Like I said, I've seen it. I just don't have a center seat.
I can only imagine how elite you have to feel by just having a seat at that show. That has to have some, there's some status to it. Like, you have to, I mean, you have to know somebody to make that happen. That's like, sure. But you probably have to be friends with Bob Iger or something.
I think they're usually there.
The way you're describing it, that's what it sounds like to me. I've never seen it in person, so I couldn't tell you.
But I have a couple friends who are in the choir. They sing it every year. So, but either
do they
way,
have a set choir over there?
Some of them are employees that send it every year, and then I think they get people from the community.
Oh wow!
Community. It's very community based, like the city of Anaheim, so which makes it nice.
Yeah, it's kind of the same way here. Especially, I know they do get some of the. I mean, there is a cast choir. What is it called? The cast choir is called Encore, I think, and they do a lot of it too. And of course, everybody auditions to be in it. I mean, that's like the big thing here, is being a part of Candlelight for all the cast. And then the orchestra. The orchestra comes from, of course, it comes from the Brevard Symphony Orchestra, which is on the east coast of Florida, and then they have the orchestra in Orlando, which helps do that too. So it is ours is community driven to an
Oh,
extent
that's
too.
nice. It's nice. Well, as
Mhm.
soon as I find out who it is, I'll let you guys know.
That's cool.
Because on Saturday I'll be spreading. It's this person. It's this person.
Oh
Sounds
my
like all the
gosh.
intrigue that they had around the Christmas parade here, and who was going to be the big guest at the end of the night, and then rumblings of Elton John, and as it turns out, that's who it turned out to be.
Ah,
So, same deal. Everyone's
That
all the
would
whispers and
totally-
the guesses, and
That's totally our candlelight processional. That's totally our Disneyland candlelight processional, because that day that they do the taping, we're all wondering who the celebrity is going to be, and they have that whole thing walled off.
Yep.
Where you can't see the castle stage, and I mean it's walled off. Like you can't get in there unless you have a special ticket, and you can hear the music on Main Street, but you can't see. And they do half of the filming during the day, and like half of it they do some of it at night too. So that would be that would probably be about the same equivalent.
fun.
But this year it was Elton John. So all right. Well, does anybody have anything else that they want to add? Any other favorite entertainment that they enjoy in the parks before we wrap these things up? Anything that I missed?
No, just lots of entertainment. There's something for everyone.
That is unless you're Michael. If you're Michael, then there's nothing for you.
not a bit.
I cannot believe that out of all the entertainment, nothing. I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
there wasn't much.
Not
And
even the Dapper Dans.
I was going to say, we were in the park the other day. I took a day off from work, did all 4 parks, and wound up at the DVC event in Animal Kingdom for the night. And, Dapper Dans were out there singing, and like, all right, you're passing and you hear them, but I don't think I need to stand here for 10 minutes and hear it. Disney Springs, went down to see some of the trees, same deal. They got the roaming, whatever they are, with their lights on and everything.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the name of that.
It's interesting to hear for a second, but do I need? And then at least they move around, so it's not like you're going to stand here for 15 minutes to hear the show. They're taking it to you. So whether you're here or there, you don't have to come clear across Disney Springs.
Yeah,
They went and took their break out by the bus or wherever. But yeah, I'm not a band fan. I'm not a stage show fan. Even the fireworks, I use them right now. I mean, as a local, that's my time to get on the Haunted Mansion as a walk-on, or Pirates as a walk-on. They did the same fireworks they had last week when I was here. So do I need to see them again? Not necessarily.
I think though, as a local, like that's kind of like it's a mixed bag, because like I either go to the parks later and I say I'm gonna take the time during the fireworks to go on the rides and take that time while no one's on it to ride them, and then I wait out in the park afterwards for the crowds to die down so I can finally leave and not deal with all the traffic. Or I have the anxiety of, oh my gosh, here come the fireworks, I have to leave now before they happen so I don't get caught in that crowd. And then I wind up like with what was the one before Harmonious? I can't think of the other one before.
The interim one that they had for
not that one, but there was
Epcot
one
Forever.
No, it wasn't Epcot Forever. It was the one before Harmonious that had the big barges, and that was only last a year. I can't think of the. Why can't I remember the name of that? It'll come to me in a second. But I only saw that show once, and it's not because I necessarily didn't want to see it. It's just because that anxiety that I have, dealing with the crowds and leaving. Because I mean, when you leave a Disney World park after the fireworks, you are sitting in traffic for a long time. It does not move.
Luminous was
Luminous, yes.
But yeah, the traffic getting out of there is terrible. I mean, when I come in at 5:30 at night, I'm watching all the people trying to leave. Yeah. And the traffic getting out of there. I mean, the workers, 5:30 at night. Yeah. And I mean, it's not as bad, but yeah, if you're in the Magic Kingdom parking lot, those folks that parked at the TTC, first you're waiting online for the boat or the monorail.
That's true.
Then you got to try to get out. It's like leaving Phantasmic at night. If people want to sit down up front, but then you look behind you at the amphitheater going, all these people get to leave before me.
Yeah. And that's where you got to decide, either you're going to stay for another hour or so, and then try to leave, or you're going to, try to leave, and then that becomes. And I've been in that. I've been in that so many times.
I admire the people that are going up the stairs, still looking back, so they can still kind of catch the end of the show. But they know, like, all right, I remember this is the end now, so now's a really good time to get the heck out of here before.
Well, the best part is you can take the ferry boat back to the TTC and watch the fireworks from the ferry boat, so you can enjoy it that way.
Or the electric water pattern.
Exactly. Oh, that's another one. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. So much entertainment that we could talk about, but we only have so much time. And I don't want to. I mean, I could sit here for hours and tell you about every piece of entertainment that I loved at Walt Disney World because there were so many. But we won't do that to you. We won't bore you with that breakdown.
But maybe our listeners and our viewers, why don't you send in your favorite nighttime? Let us know what it is that you enjoy. What's the email?
You can find us, just look us up on Facebook, on Mouse Minds on Facebook, or you can comment on this video on our Disney and Beyond channel. Comments your favorites, nighttime entertainment. Leave those comments. We'll definitely check those comments. And
love hearing from you guys. So, yeah,
and we'll get a post on Facebook, and maybe if we get a few comments on Facebook, I'll make a post tonight actually. If we get enough comments on Facebook, maybe we'll select a random listener and send them a little prize from the parks.
Absolutely.
Maybe I have something in my closet of things that I at the time seemed like good ideas, but now I'm like, where do I put this that I could send to you from the Disney parks? But I think that's going to do it for this week's show. The only thing that is left to say is I have one last thing to say. And Disney, if you're listening, please do me a big favor and get more sweaters. Get the Figment sweaters back at Epcot and in the XL and large size, because you're driving me nuts. I want to spend my money at your parks and you do not have my size. Please, it's a very expensive sweater. I'm willing to pay for it, but I want that sweater because Figment wears it in the ride. So thank you for listening to my TED Talk Disney, and please bring back the sweaters. But that being said, that's going to do it for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, this has been myself, Luella, and Michael. You guys have anything else you want to add before I close this out?
I am good. Thank you.
All right. Well, it's always a pleasure. I love our great co-host here. It's always nice having this amazing, roundtable, West Coast, East Coast. I love it so much. And as I always say, if you can dream it, you can do it. So thanks for watching the show with us this week. And we will see you guys next week. And, of course, look out for the podcast every Friday on your favorite podcasting platform. And that's at 5 p.m. on Fridays. Bye now.